get some closure? Stay right where you are and don't come closer. If you haven't picked it up, it's over. You wanted her, so just give me what I deserve. So can I get some closure? Stay right where you are and don't come closer. If you haven't picked it up, it's over. Run back to her, 'cause I got what I want, closure. Wasted too much heart on you. Wish I learned to use my head. 'Cause right before I fell for you, I fell right into your bed. I'm not looking for revenge. I don't need you to be my friend. I just want this fake love to come to an end. So can I get some closure? Stay right where you are and don't come closer. If you haven't picked it up, it's over. You wanted her, so just give me what I deserve. So can I get some closure? Stay right where you are and don't come closer. If you haven't picked it up, it's over. Run back to her, 'cause I got what I want, closure. You wanted her.
Life goes up and it goes down. Life goes up and it goes down. Life goes up and it goes down.
Live from 55, bang on time, as ever, presented by your favourite ULTI.TV analysts and idiots, with a cast of special guests. Thank you all for joining us, and thanks to EURODISC as well for helping to put the show on. We have a jam-packed show for you this evening. We're going to get the GB and Belgian Open coaches to sock wrestle ahead of their final tomorrow. Ireland mixed, after their bronze medal today, are going to commentate on it. But first, please welcome in, from the French mixed team in the final tomorrow, Nasa Umbe Vocal and Eva Bono. First things first. You first. Congratulations. Feeling good?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Obviously, had a tough game in the quarterfinal yesterday against Germany, and then today against Great Britain. We'll look at the game this morning. What was the main game plan to shut Great Britain down?
I think we watched a lot of games from GB because we played them like in Frankfurt, windmill, and we tried to stop the women, like for them like to come in under. And I think the women on the team like play very hard on them, and they force some throw and like sometimes very close to the end zone. And after that, it was pretty easy to score. Yeah, she played great during the game. Like she was like, yeah, magic. Yeah.
I can't click my fingers, so way to rub it in, everyone. Thanks. Ava, were there any players that you particularly enjoyed matching up against?
I don't know her name, but I like to match up the 37.
Ellie Taylor.
Yep. And she ran very fast, but yeah, it was a great matchup.
Obviously, the plans changed a little bit because finals, as you may have noticed, did not happen today. They've been moved back from tomorrow. How was your preparation changed as a result?
I think nothing changed. Like we were ready to play 2 games anyway. So after the game, like the coach said, we're not playing today, we play tomorrow. And we just say, okay, cool, we have more time to chill out, stay at home, watch some Frisbee, and stay together. Yeah.
Have you had much of a chance to have a look at the Italy team who are going to be your opponents tomorrow?
I think some of the teammates watched the game. I didn't right now, so but you did?
Yeah. We watched the semi-final and the game in Power Pool against Ireland, yeah.
And what did you think?
We think that
That's it. Rub it in. Rub it in.
It was a tough game, I think, for you guys. But yeah, you yeah, you made a great game. But they made great throw, great hug, great catches. So yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the team itself, because you've got players who have kind of come from a variety of clubs, players who play, you know, normally in all three different divisions, and there's a bit of a disparity in ages as well. Let's not pretend that Nas is not a literal legend of the game. Like, Nas was the best player in the game when I started over a decade ago. So what's it like, Ava, playing with kind of those almost mythical figures of European Ultimate? And Nas, what's it like playing with some of the younger stars?
It's an honor for me to play with him.
No, I mean, like, it's great. I've been on this game for so many years, and playing with like young people is always fun. You need like to be sometime in the same like page, because like I'm older. Sometimes like I have to be away, stay in my room, and just like chill out myself. But when I see this guy playing with the team, I feel like I love it. Yeah, I love the French camaraderie. I love to be with them, and I'm very proud about what they're doing on the field and out the field too. So it's always fun.
Do you spend much time with the other French teams, or is it kind of everyone's in their own little bubble?
No, we are still like on the same like area, so we talk sometimes during after the games, and yeah, everyone knowing everyone. So they're pretty young on the French group, so they know each other for a long time. So it's pretty easy like to talk with them. Yeah.
The closest any teams played you this tournament was actually back in Power Pools, when you broke to win on Universe against Poland, which I think caught a lot of observers maybe a bit surprised that the game was pushed close. Was there any particular reason why you think maybe did they catch you off guard somewhat, and what was decisive in you emerging victorious in the end? So we have a look at the results so far this tournament.
You want to talk?
I think we didn't get into the game like well prepared mentally. We were like, okay, we won our first 4 games, and we were like, okay, maybe we were thinking that we were too good, like over. Yep, and they played very well, so we were surprised. The first half time, they got the first half time. They beat us all the time, except the Universe. So great reaction from our team.
And you know, it's like it's a week of tournament, so sometimes you're gonna be away like for a couple of points, or maybe during the game. But the good things, like, we were like, okay, we play bad, we have a very good defense, they are coming back, so we have to trust on the strategy on the team. And yeah, we were lucky at the end. We won this game, and it was like a good remember, like, okay, nothing's gonna be easy. So it's like very good team on the mixed division. Everyone want to beat everyone. So yeah, it's a game. So sometimes you win. We won this game, and sometimes you lost. But yeah.
In terms of a game that's a little bit like that, back at Windmill, you faced Italy in the quarterfinals, and they kind of pulled the upset on you there. What are you going to change this time that's going to flip the game in your favour?
The mindset, I think. We really want this one. We wanted also in Windmill, but like we were not prepared that much, and now we are.
Yeah, I think we had a tough game against Ireland right after before the Italian team. We won the Universe. It was like very, very hard. It was like a comeback like during this game. So I think we were a little bit tired. We play a lot of Frisbee during the season, so I think most of the player was a little bit tired too. And yeah, now it's a different game. different like preparations. So I think they're gonna be ready. We're gonna be ready. So yeah.
Anyone got any questions from the floor?
So I actually have a follow-up to Benji's final question for you. So when I was speaking to your coach ahead of one of the games that I had the pleasure of commentating for the French mixed team, he really said about the way the team responded to that loss in the quarterfinals at Windmill was actually sort of the online presence, the video chats, the WhatsApp conversations. So how did you talk as a team to kind of, regenerate the unity coming into this championship?
We spend more time together. We eat together. We play games, not frisbee, but like volley, football together to get united. And I think we missed union in Windmill.
And we also have like a different group on WhatsApp. So I think after this game, we were like very disappointed to lose this game, but we knew like we have a good process. We work very hard to be ready for the tournament, and we talk a lot together. I mean, like national team is very different like a club, because like you're in a club, you can go spend time together, but we use like video to talk about what we have to change during the European, and I think it was good for everyone to have like a space to talk a little bit about it. Yeah.
Any further questions from anyone? Go ahead, Hanny.
So this one's a bit more on the fun side of things. I think, again, talking to your coaches, they said that, maybe some of the more veteran players had a bit more of the fun energy, and the younger players were maybe sort of brought to an even more serious level, because, of course, plenty of championship and high-level experience in the youth, which is sort of like the Wes Anderson approach, because that's what he does with his characters in films. So what's been the most kind of common ground in terms of that socialization vibe, like finding that real fun and joy for each other?
Yeah, both like Christophe and Olivier try to make sure like we love to be together, play with your teammates, stay with your teammates, work hard with your teammate, enjoy like every time you have with your teammate during the week. And I think this kind of like talk help us a lot to make sure like even if we play not good against Poland, we were like, okay, it's fine, we didn't play well, but we are coming back. So yeah, they did a very good job to make sure like the team is ready for that. Yeah.
Lovely. We'll let you two go and get back, go through those final preparations, get a relatively early night. I say that. I know that we're all going to be at the party in an hour anyway, so we'll see you there. A huge round of applause, everyone, for us. I'll start again. Nasaneva. While they leave, we'll throw to a quick little break, and we'll rejoin you very shortly.
Thank you, guys. We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. EURODISC continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. EURODISC.
What a grab! Oh my God! Somehow they do it!
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
EURODISC's Limerick Late Night Live returns. Huge thank you again to Nas and Ava for joining us. That mixed final comes up at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, live, wild and free on ULTI.TV, as always. But now, ahead of the open final, we are joined by the two coaches of the two sides. We have Pierre-Alain Delamine and Tommy Garwood.
A little sportsmanship to get us started. That's lovely. We came for blood, though. So we're going to actually show some highlights of your respective semi-finals. And just to start off with GB, because something we wanted to ask you about was the Italians had a range of different defensive looks that they were able to throw at you. So how did you prepare to go up against their various zones?
I think we were lucky that we played them in power pools. This has been a really long week, I can't remember. Yeah, lucky that we played them in power pools. And we also played them at Belgium Invite, which PA helped put together. So we had a reasonable idea of the structures, but they definitely added in some variations. You know, they're pretty aggressive in the front three. They've got a really smart front three. So that was our focus, right? Keep those three occupied and then try and gain yards around the side. But the prep was mostly just making sure we were watching footage and aligning everyone on the same strategy. That's the big thing, I think.
And when it came to the other side of the disc and trying to limit the Italians and their lethality, what was your approach defensively?
They have some really skilled handlers, so we really wanted to push them backwards into really negative spaces and make their throws forward just hard. We put some of our big guys on Pavan, who's an unbelievable stat machine this week, and we had some really fun matchups on Gasparini as well, who is the go-to guy for unders and then loves throwing it. So they were our focuses, and then I think what got us the breaks in the second half was just denying all the unders, being super brave. That was our sort of key word there.
Could you define what you mean by brave?
You know, you can be cautious, right? When you're defending someone, you don't want to get roasted deep and get scored on. So it's like the complete opposite of that. Like someone getting an under is being scored on, and sort of defining it like that, basically.
Fair enough, and it did seem to work to great effect as we have another look. What do the veterans on your team mean when you're approaching a tournament like this? Because you've got some, like Nasser, some absolute legends.
Absolutely. For me personally, I'm pretty inexperienced. This is my first week-long tournament since I was coaching the under-20s in 2019. So having people to talk to, we've got a really strong core of experienced players around who I'm constantly going to for advice or checking over thoughts. So yeah, just sense checking throughout the week, and then they're pretty good at seeing if we're working things through and you know, not butting in and being really effective with their feedback.
We have another quick look there at some of the brilliant shots they put up. Of course, this closing one. To book your place into the final, where awaiting you in the final are the Belgians. So we'll go to some highlights from your semi-final and just ask you a couple of questions, PA, about how you approached it. It seems like you did a lot of homework and really worked very hard to lock in on the existing German structure. Can you talk us through that process?
Sure. So we analyzed a lot of their games. We played them twice, London Invite, that the GB team helped to organize. We watched their footage from their previous games against the Czechs and really tried to analyze how did it work. And obviously it's a very set play oriented team. So I think our main focus was to force the reset from the start and really denying and poaching those lanes, no matter where the reset would be, just like identify where the space is that they want to attack and just poach that. I think we did a really great job at that, and then push them back in their own systems, where they have to work a lot more on the pitch, and I think that's where one of their weak spot is. And so after that, when they transition to vert, there are a lot more poaches, opportunities, and I think we got tons of defenses like that.
And in the most respectful way possible, is there a Belgian system?
Is there a Belgian system? Yes, there is. Yeah, I think definitely we're known for maybe a little bit bit of unpredictability and attacking spaces that not everybody would think of. Whatever spaces that is open, that you can reach through a hammer or a screwball is potential space. We have a lot of throwers who are not afraid of putting those and are pretty skilled at hitting those spaces and using those shots. I think a lot of the work that we've done since the start of the season is try to measure sort of the risk versus rewards level, and then identifying, okay, what is a risky shot, what is an okay shot in that kind of situations. So we are trying to be a little bit clever in the choices that we're making in whatever given situation. So that was a big part of the work.
Awesome. A little question that I'll ask the same question to both of you, but you guys are familiar enough with each other now. You've had, whether by
Great
virtue of Moon versus Clapham or Belgium playing GB, you guys know each other's rosters well. Tell me one player on your opposing team that would fit into your team the best.
Oh.
If you could steal one player from your opposition, and maybe not just the best player, but that would actually work with your system, who do you take on the GB roster? We'll start with you, PA.
Who throws hammer within the GB team? Ford maybe. Ford would be just fun and nice to have him around. Having those kinds of legends playing with us, that would be awesome.
Okay, another godfather for the young ones. Yeah. All right, what about you, Tommy?
Really like how Toby cuts. Number 33, he's so keen to just fly deep and eat stuff, those deep shots up. So yeah.
Nice.
It could be great for us.
So we'll send out the contracts to the opposite players. See how those
We'll talk after.
Otherwise, excluding your two teams, just a shout out on what you've seen, talking about stat makers and top players in the division. Who do you think is the best player in the open division that's not on Belgium or GB that deserves a shout out as far as the games you guys have played?
You can start.
You did no time to think.
I don't know, it's tough. I think in the Czech team, Michal Marek also plays for Mooncatchers. He's a key piece in the Czech offense. So I think that would be one of the highlight guys.
Great answer, Tommy. You got one now.
I do, yeah. Also, Czech's number 12, Rylo. He in the quarterfinal game, he changed the dimension of that Czech offense, and he was a big driving force in pushing the Germans that far. So yeah, he was unbelievable with a cut open finger as well, which is kind of crazy.
On the throwing hand too, isn't it? And Tommy, just tell us a little bit about how I know Clapham is generally a self-coached team, I guess, or a no-coach team, a captain-only team. They've had some iterations of coaches, but none that have really stuck around. GB is not Clapham, correct, but the core is there. Talk about how they've kind of accepted you and having a proper coach for this campaign.
Yeah, they've been absolutely fantastic. I was lucky that I coached GB in 2020 before the open team, before everything stopped. So I knew them going in, and after sort of Ultimate started up against COVID, I had a pretty good relationship with Briggs anyway. So messaged and see if I could come along and help, and I wasn't playing as much, and I wanted to get back into Ultimate through coaching. So they have been really great at understanding like why I'm there, which is primarily to facilitate the leadership's vision on Clapham. I've had a little more sway on the GB team, and I think that's always been very clear. Is like I'm really there as like a supporting figure. You know, I'm not taking the lead. It's helping the guys push through, and eventually they got that bronze medal. So I think there was some appreciation there that I was putting in some work to really helping the leadership put a good season together.
Amazing, thank you. And PA, I think for you it's different. You've kind of pried yourself away from being a player to become a coach. I know, like at the start of some season of this season, you've had a couple tournaments. You still got the boots on. You're still playing. maybe not prying yourself away, but taking yourself out of the player position and becoming a full-time coach. Tell us about that as a transition.
So yeah, it started progressively. Last year, obviously, with Moons, with the World campaign. I usually started to play during tournaments and then stepping out progressively as we go higher in brackets and that sort of things. Or when games were getting more tense, then I would step out and just make sure that just to manage the team and to put structure into place, because that's one of the key factors that we've implemented last year. And then I think moving to a non-playing position just kind of came naturally. Yeah, I really liked coaching and working with the guys, and we had also great results, so that just, yeah, keep me ongoing with that, yeah.
And I just want to ask you one more question before we get to the sock wrestling portion of the evening. And that is, you guys obviously met earlier in the tournament in a fantastic fireworks display of a game. How does that experience shape you going into the final in your preparation?
On our side, we're super hyped because I think, so we've met GB twice at Belgium Invites. We met, so they won twice. We met them at London Invites. We beat them there. And I had the chance to play the Tom Sturney semi-final against these guys as well and win that game. So now it's 3-2 on the record. And tomorrow we'll make it 3-3.
I'd just like to say nice dodge.
I think it's the same for us. It's all mentality, right? It's how you approach a game and understanding what exactly you can control, and that's been a big focus for us the whole week. Is excluding outside factors that we can't control and that might impact how we approach a game, and focusing on really intentional decisions, intentional actions throughout everything we do. So yeah, mentality, I think, similar. Come in super hyped, come in super energetic, and blow them out again in the first half.
And then it'll all come down to a call on Universe again.
Ideally not, yeah.
Yes, I'm joking. I had to poke the bear a little bit. Come on. Does anyone have any further questions?
Pierre, we've been talking about how in the run-up to this championship that some of the Belgian players are just, their ability to read those loose discs in the air are just, it's insane. Certainly very pivotal in the success you had at the London Invite. Today, was it smoke and mirrors when everyone missed the defensive blocks on the Skyballs? Because everyone's jumping and no one was getting blocks.
I have to rewatch the game. I haven't yet. But it's true. I think we were a lot better against Spain in the air. But we did score a few hugs just by running fast and just getting those discs. I think it's also part of the things I try to avoid the sky balls and just like put it into space far, just run for it and catch it there. Because yeah, sky ball is always 50-50, right? And yeah, it doesn't work all the time. But Holger is like great. I mean, he did so many catches. Like
you caught this one in the end.
We have the space. Yeah,
that's just great. That's just great boxing from Bontom, IMO.
But yeah, Holger, I think that's the one. I think Fuse, yeah, it just catches it like by when he's falling down in the down motion of his jump, and yeah, I mean you can see also the experience. This guy is amazing, and he's still got it. So it's just great. Yeah.
It was a joke that Charlotte and I were making in the booth, was that everyone was jumping and then just one player alone behind everybody else with the easy clap catch. So maybe you need to do some, I don't know, dance routines, get a metronome going, get the timing back on form. But yeah, it was a very special game to watch.
Yeah, that's how I skied Ash at training once, and in my opinion, it's a totally legitimate way to win those battles. No further questions asked. That open final is the first game of the day tomorrow at 10 o'clock local time. You can watch that all live, of course, with your friends here at ULTI.TV. A huge round of applause for PA and Tommy. And there will be sock wrestling at the winners' party. You can be sure of it.
We'll make it a patrons-only exclusive footage.
There you go. There's a reason to sign up, as if you didn't have a myriad of them already. We're going to take another quick break so we can let the drunks behind us come in, and we'll see you on the other side. We are back for EURODISC Limerick Late Night live from 55. And we have a very snazzily dressed, fresh off the bronze medal victory today, Irish mixed team. Again, please stop doing that. It's just rubbing it in. First question. I can't click my fingers. It's cruel. How quickly after the games did the first beers come in?
Only got iced, right? I'm pretty sure one of the Irish women's team iced one of our players quite quickly after the game. So before we'd even left the pitches, the pints were flying. Yeah.
Start as you mean to go on.
Correct.
I feel obliged that we have to talk about the game a little bit. Shush you. Obviously, disappointment after the morning defeat to Italy. How do you pick yourselves up and bounce back to go again?
I don't play the first
one. So. Well, we wanted to win. I want to win every game I play, and I think everyone else on our team does as well. So that's how you pick yourself back up.
I think there's that added motivation as well of playing GB in Ireland for a medal. Like there's all those kind of added factors to it. But for some of us, we feel like it's the last time we might play for Ireland. We didn't want our journey in the green jersey to end on a loss. So there was a few things for a few of us that really, got us a bit motivated. Fixed a few hamstrings, the likes.
It was good to see you back out there in that game, because there was a period after that first game where it looked like you weren't going to be able to suit up for the week. So nice to see you out there with, I'm sure, a hefty amount of strapping.
Yeah, like it's still on. There's a drinking game later if anyone needs to say it. So if you donate £1, you get to rip off some of my strapping and see me grimace. So,
does anybody in this room have £1?
I mean, that could be good content. That's good content.
Do we even use pounds over here? It's euros, right?
Oh, yeah, I know. Sorry, my bad. I've been over in the UK too long.
Oh, wait,
yeah, for sure.
There you go. That's a euro.
Sick. All right, well.
That's a good exchange rate.
Hands off.
Are we? Hang on. Are we actually doing?
Are we doing this? Oh no. Okay.
Okay. No, but yeah,
patron only. We got you.
But yeah, no, genuine shout out for our team physio Fiona Myrna, who sorted out tons of us during the week. Got me on the road back to playing with a pretty significant rehab program, and then also Louise Pollard, who's one of the tournament physios who actually did the strapping.
I'm gonna ask the question to this side of the sofa. What was the specific game plan for Great Britain? Because obviously you'd played in power pools already and beaten them once, so there's that phrase that it's tough to beat the same team twice. Is it true?
Leo's going to give the serious answer. I'll give the joke answer.
Always.
I think we know that GB have a lot of kind of set plays and isolations and things, and we were basically going out there to try and shut that down as much as we possibly could. So we threw a lot of interesting, different looks, slight variations on zones that sort of look the same, but we were pressuring them in different ways. And it was kind of a lot of the same game plan, just with some tweaks on based on how things worked well and didn't work well in the first game.
In terms of the zone looks that pressure different things, I think we were very detailed in our game plan about where and how we were trying to get blocks, and talked very specifically with certain people about that. And I think that our team was also very motivated in games to 1. And, you know, I think GB was there to play 1 game to 15. We were there to play many games to 1. And so the more games to 1 that we beat them at, it made us feel very delighted.
15 games to 1. That's how many we won.
Yes. I mean, we were probably in it for at least, you know, like 20-some games to 1, because we had to stay engaged until we hit 15, but we were trying to win 15 games to 1, but they got a few of them.
We hit our target 15 times and their target once. Some people are like, mad. Like, it's like, I've been drinking. How does that work?
I'm just thinking about that one point in the first half where there was one possession where GB had made more passes than you'd made in total by that point.
Yeah.
And that is like testament to that zone fully at work.
It was very nice to. I think that there's an idea, especially in the States, that zone defense doesn't work in mixed. And I think that we are a testament that when you have a bunch of really selfless players who are ready to just go and do their jobs, you can find a role for every single player on a roster in a zone. You can get people to contribute. You can generate blocks if you're very specific about how you design those roles and how you design the zones. And I think we are a testament in terms of a team. We came up with like 4 different zone looks that we had not practiced, we had not even talked about until we found opponents this week. And our team's great. I think very intelligent defenders, and we're able to turn it on when we needed it.
Well, I did want to ask just a direct follow-up question to that, which is what's your experience been like making that transition from America to come and coach at the European Championship standard?
Honestly, I think that the national team level here, like, people take mixed very seriously, and I think all the opponents that we got to face played really good mixed ultimate. We didn't have a single opponent who took it easy on us. They brought their A game, and I think that when you look at the number of turns during our games, every single game, like, I think the most we had was like 11, and there were teams that were turning it 20 times per game. Every team brought their A game against us, and we had to respond in a way that meant we were cleaner, we were able to hold better, and we were able to have more efficient offense. And to me, in the U.S., that's not always the case. I really felt when Noise went to Worlds in Cincinnati last year, we got so many different teams' best game, and that's not the case in the U.S. And I feel really grateful. I think that Europe takes mixed very seriously, and every player, honestly, like most players who compete in single gender also compete in mixed, and that's not the way that it works in the U.S.
So there you are, a long list of reasons why European Ultimate is better than American Ultimate. So perfect reasons to sign up to the Patreon. One for Sinead and Hoagie. You mentioned, of course, how important it is when you're, you know, GB versus Ireland kind of means that little bit more. And there was a very raucous home support in that game. Do you kind of tune it out, or do you feed off it?
Well, they were chanting your name for a long time, Hoagie. How did that feel?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think I was a bit of an emotional wreck this week anyway. Like, getting injured day one, I think before our first, I think on the day that we played GB, I think I cried 5 times and only one of them was happy crying. So I think today, getting onto the pitch at 8-7, Lotta's been slagging me off since the game because I was essentially trying to, like, not cry on the line. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's always going to be an emotional game, especially for me, like living over there since 2016 and coming back for various different campaigns. I think, like, it wasn't just our crowd going wild for us; it was also the GB teams getting behind them, and there's a lot of GB, like, families and parents and friends over too. So the atmosphere was just pretty sick. But yeah, for me anyway, I heard a lot. I heard a lot from the sideline. A lot of our supporters, but then a lot of other teams getting behind us too. Like shout out the German team who got behind us. We have a lot of respect for them and them us, and it was dope to have them shouting my name and our names during the game. So that was sweet.
One aimed specifically at Hoagie. There were accusations that when you put together your Frisbee history for the quiz round, that you mysteriously omitted some teams. Is there any truth to that rumour?
Oh yeah, so that's actually true. I've been called out by several people on this. So shout out Johnny Chimpo, the first team I played like nationals with in Ireland. A team I didn't necessarily train with because the team didn't train; they just turned up and won stuff. And that history stopped with me because the 2 tournaments we played, we did not win. And then I think Thundering Herd seemed to be slightly aggrieved as well. I think I didn't list them because I largely played tours with them and coached them rather than playing with them as my primary team. So they overlapped in my Clapham era.
So you just kind of
You were embarrassed? You were embarrassed?
I wasn't embarrassed. I wasn't embarrassed. Yeah, shout out.
Was it the cow print shorts? Is it the cow print shorts? Are you a pro or
That is validated. I never even heard of that team.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't even get traded. They went in like the charity bin at one point. Like, yeah, like, that's not even memes. Like, that's straight up truth. I think they went in the charity bin.
Any other questions from the floor?
Well, if we're getting to the sartorial section of the interview, I wanted to ask a follow-up because obviously the Irish, you play great on the pitch, but your coach is lighting up the sidelines with your own dress sense. Can you explain the decision-making in that process, please?
Fashion.
Yeah, fashion, one word. No, I think I knew that that Robin is a very decorative character, and some people would say that I'm a little severe at times. So this shirt was sort of my attempt at appearing more fun, and I knew that if I leaned into what Robin was doing anyway, that it would come across quite well.
So one of the first things that we did is we brought like kind of like symbols or like things for like tokens or parts of who we are as teammates, as people. We shared those during our first practice weekend, and this Hawaiian shirt has won several Madison Summer League titles, and despite all of the super high-level Ultimate that I play, Summer League is really important to me because I think it's an important place to build community, to have fun. Also, it's mixed, so that's also really important to me. And so I shared that because this is a really important like piece of who I am. It was really fun when Leo was like, "Hey, are we wearing Hawaiians tomorrow?" And I was like, "Wait, you brought your Hawaiian?" And the best thing about Leo's Hawaiian is that there's this like vaguely flesh-colored like insert right here. It's way too dark to match his skin tone. But when he was walking around, I thought that he had like a cutout, like his Hawaiian shirt had a cutout, and I was like, "Oh, it's a sexy Hawaiian." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, there's like that skin tone color, and he was like, "No, that's way too dark for me." And he's just like, "See?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely never seen the sun." And for the whole week, I could not unsee the fact that that's vaguely skin colored. And so I kept thinking that he was wearing like a sexy shirt to coach, and it's not just a normal Hawaiian shirt. It's normal.
So clearly what Leo needs is one of those like muscle tanks underneath it of the same shade.
Exactly.
Right, so Leo, I have a very important question for you because the people need to know. How do you slide into the DMs of a legend, world-class athlete and ask them, convince them even, to come and coach your program?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said this to several people that I think the best thing that I achieved this entire season was convincing Robin to come over. I guess I kind of went in with the attitude as the worst you can say is no. I put together quite a long pitch. In fact, there's a character limit on Instagram messages, so it had to come through as several messages so that she could read the whole thing. And yeah, she agreed to have a chat with me, and then I was able to really sell what the vision was and what we were trying to do, and what I thought that she could add to the system, and it obviously resonated with her, and here she is, and it's made the world of difference to us.
And how much will you be charging for your new series on how to pitch to coaches? I believe there's going to be a 30-minute tape, right? That you're just going to sell like hotcakes?
You can keep an eye out for my TED Talk.
Should we put that on the Patreon as well?
Yeah, why not?
You spoke about making the world of difference, so I have to ask, what is your plan for Worlds next year? Is there one? Does this team lead on into that campaign, or is that just too far away in time and distance right now to think about?
I think that Robin and I have had a few kind of short conversations about what it might look like, and I think it's really going to be a case of what kind of vision we can put together to convince players that it's something that they would want to be involved in again. Obviously, it's a long way to go, and a lot of people's time and money, and a lot of the guys on our roster have been to the 24s campaign in Perth as well, so we'll have to wait and see as to who's about and whether we can convince them all to rally next year.
I might steal that from you and convince you to get to the Gold Coast. It's amazing there. You gotta go to the Gold Coast. I think, if I'm not wrong, since we've had the mixed team in and then we had members from the open and mixed team earlier, we might get a graphic up to check out the women's final so everybody at home can have a look at all divisions. And we are conclusive here. So there is the women's final for tomorrow. Of course, Germany against GB. You see their semifinal results. Germany got ahead of the Czechs, and GB disposed of the Italians there. I almost saw that as an Irish flag for a second, but yes, the Italians in a universe point. That one was a scorcher. So that is the middle final tomorrow. Am I right, Benji?
Yeah, 12:30 local time. That one starts.
12:30 local time. Thanks for that. Make sure you guys are on that. And our final shout out. I think we've got a mini package to run here. A little bit of potentially some bloopers. So I'm not sure what our producers have up their sleeves there, but look at we're gonna check it out and see what's going on. Here it is. A little package, send things off before we pass the bench.
What's that smell?
Kind of OT smell. Too hot for TV.
Roger picks up. He goes deep in one throw. Delal on the chase. Nice pickup, left hand there. One throw offense.
And look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Come out of nowhere!
And shots to make every single Masters player that was here last year exceptionally envious. The sunshine has been absolutely unreal this week. I've been so happy about it.
Nailed that, to be fair. You've been dying to do that. I know they have. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Even though they're not here, a huge round of applause for all our guests tonight, for Nasaneva, for Tommy and Pierre-Alain, and for Ireland as well. That is a wrap on EURODISC's Limerick Late Night Live, folks. It is a show that we did not think was going to be happening again today because the finals were supposed to be done by now, and we were supposed to be a fair few beers deep at Treaty City by now. So I think we can maybe squeeze in one or two.
Wait.
Get the goggles on.
First game's not till I've got a hold microphone, and the other one's for my beer. First game's not till 10 o'clock, so we've got bags of time for that. Thank you so much for joining us all this week. Again, a reminder that finals day scheduled tomorrow. Open final kicks us off at 10 p.m. The women's final at 10 p.m., 10 a.m. even. That would be a really late one.
That really would, wouldn't it?
That's another Limerick Late Night Live for you. We never said that
we're drunk on life.
We never said that we weren't, in fairness. Open at 10 a.m., women's at 12:30, and then rounding things off with mixed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. From all of us here at ULTI.TV and all our wonderful cast and crew this week, thank you very much. I can't believe I have to say this for a second time. See you on the other side for finals day.
Thanks for watching.
if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed? EURODISC continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. EURODISC.